from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's the Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life, your relationships, your mental health, your work, and your money. I'm John Deloney, joined here by my good friend George Camel, and we're taking your calls on life and money. Give us a buzz at 888-825-5225. It's 888-825-5225. Let's go right to the phones. Let's go to Frank in Philadelphia, where he was born and raised. What's up, Frank?
Yes.
How we doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good, man. What's up? How can we help?
So I'm about $90,000 in school loan debt. I did undergrad, and I also did. Well, I'm also currently doing graduate now. I'm about finished with my graduate school.
What are you studying, man?
I'm studying my master's in business management now. And my undergraduate was in media studies and production.
What are you wanting to do, Frank, after grad school?
I wanted to open up my own photography company, but I'm learning now, like, as I get older, it's not really lucrative. So I'm trying to find.
It's an expensive lesson to learn.
Yeah, it's a $90,000 lesson
to learn.
Okay, what are you doing now for work? You working full time?
Yes, I'm working full time. I work with individuals with intellectual disabilities.
Do you like that work?
That's what I'm doing. It's okay. It's okay. Definitely not something I see myself doing long term. I mean, I love helping people, but that's not something I see myself doing.
Why? Let me ask you this, and know this, like in counseling, the why are you never asked that question, but I am asking that question now, okay? Mm-hmm. Why aren't you working in business? Why aren't you using that degree that you've paid every drop of blood, sweat, and soul you've got for? Why aren't you leaning into how to run a business, how business works, how business doesn't work, the ups and downs? What's keeping you out of that?
Because I haven't yet graduated yet.
Who cares?
Graduate.
Have you looked at the job at LinkedIn, man?
Go talk to a bunch of photographers. Most of them never even went to college. They don't have a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
And they're running very successful businesses. Well, what's your income right now?
My income is about $45,000 a year.
Okay. What other debt do you have other than the student loans?
I have $1,000 in student. I have $1,000 credit card debt, and I also have a $7,000 car loan debt.
Okay, and that's it. So you've got close to $100,000 in consumer debt.
Yes.
Are you single?
Yes, I'm single.
Okay, and are you renting right now?
I actually own my property.
You do own it. So you got a mortgage as well?
No, just pay bills.
So it's paid for?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What's it worth?
I think it's about $60,000. I think it's about worth $60,000.
The house is worth $60,000?
Yeah, yes. 60.
Wow. And is this in the Philadelphia area? Is it a mobile home or is it a single family?
A single family, a row home.
Okay. Well, one piece of this equation is getting your income up, because staring at a pile of $90,000 in debt when you make $45,000, I can understand how you feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And are you making payments on the student loans, or are they still deferred because you're in school?
Yes, they're still deferred because I'm still in school.
Okay. But this is going to be a rude awakening when these payments kick back up.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to prepare before it actually happens. I'm scheduled to graduate in January, and 6 months. I'm scheduled to graduate in September, and 6 months after September, I will be paying student loans. So I want to make sure I'm prepared and I'm in the right position so I can pay them off.
I love that. Well, it's going to take getting your income up. Have you already paid for the rest of the semesters? You said you're in it through January.
Yes.
Okay, so it's paid for. There's no more student loan debt you could get into.
No.
Okay.
Man, there's two things you can do with money. You can spend less of it or make more of it. And here's the deal. One of the cornerstones to getting well, one of the cornerstones to help changing your mental illness, one of the cornerstones of or healing from mental illness, one of the cornerstones of getting out of debt is owning reality. Here's where I'm at. Here's the hole I've got, right? And then deciding I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get out. So working with people with special needs, I've done that for years. It's exhausting and tiring work, right? It's hard. It takes a lot of you. And what George and I are going to tell you to do is either keep doing that job, and then as soon as you're done, grab a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that you've made at home, and as you head to your next job that you're going to do until 10 or 11 at night, and you're going to get up next morning and do it again, so that you're making $80,000 over the course of a year, or $75 or 78, $80, $85,000 a year, or you got to find another job where you're working in business nearer towards what you want to do for the rest of your years. Do this, Frank. Ask Frank where Frank wants to be 5 years from now, and begin to reverse engineer that now. Do you want to work for a business? Do you want to work for a company? Do you want to own your own place? And if so, you got to learn how business works. Start looking for jobs that are going to get you in the door there, and learn how business works. You've got an MBA, you're going to know all about business, but you're not going to know how business runs and works and feels and keeps you up at night and all that until you actually get in there and do it. Let me ask you this. What's holding you back? There's something that you just won't put the gas pedal all the way to the floor. What is it?
Mainly because I don't really know how to budget money. I don't know how to really use money. I don't really know how money works. That's why I watch a lot of Dave Ramsey shows, because I'm trying to learn how to budget my money and how to be effective with my money instead of just...
we can help you with that part, Frank. I'm going to gift you 1 year of Every Dollar. That's our budgeting tool, the premium version, as well as 1 year of Financial Peace University. That's going to give you the money education they never taught you in school. But that's only one piece of the equation. The other piece is you and what you're doing to increase that income. My goal for you is to become debt-free in 2 years. But what that's going to take is you making $90K a year and paying down $45 a year. You see the math on that?
Yeah.
Hustling. And by the way, this isn't the rest of your life. You're going to go at a pace for the next 2 years that you can't sustain for the rest of your life. That's not what we're proposing. But we are proposing that, dude, you have dug yourself a hole and there's a lion in the bottom of that pit. And you got to run as fast as you can over the next 24 or 36 months. Are you in?
I'm in.
I love it. Okay,
Awesome.
go watch those first few lessons of Financial Peace University. You're going to learn how to budget. You're going to learn about the debt snowball method to get out of this pile, and you're going to call us back when you're debt-free. That's all we ask in exchange for these gifts. Hang on the line. Jen is going to pick up. We'll gift that to you.
This is The Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined by George Kamel, and we're taking your calls. Give us a shout. We'll be right back.
If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Visit Blinds.com to save up to 40% off everything site-wide. Go to Blinds.com for more information.
This is the Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined here by George Camel, and we're taking your calls on life, money, mental health, marriage, whatever you got going on. We're here for you. Let's go to Carrie in Rising Sun. Man, what a cool name for a
Pretty
town.
rock and roll.
What's up, Carrie?
Hi, how are you guys?
Outstanding. What's up?
Cool. This is so exciting. Okay.
I
So
promise
my
it's more
question
exciting for us. I promise.
So a colleague that I work with, a nurse, her name's Erica, she recommended that I read The Total Money Makeover. And since I read it, I've been kind of hooked in just propelling forward to our future of being debt-free. And I've been sharing with my husband what I've been reading, and we've been applying it. So in the last 6 weeks, we've paid off roughly $13,000 in credit card debt.
All right.
Whoa.
I have another $6,000 that in 3 weeks we plan to pay off, leaving me with, originally I thought it was 2 loans, but we actually have 3 loans. So after we pay off this last credit card, I'll have a horse trailer loan, a Jeep loan, and then just paying off our roof loan.
George has
because we
several
weren't prepared for our roof to leak.
George has
Been
several
there.
horse trailer loans, so yes.
If I had a nickel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a 12-month plan, worst case scenario, 18-month plan to be debt-free. And then in 18 to 2 years, we plan on moving south and, taking our horses and opening up a small horse ranch. My question is, every time I pay off my credit card, I call the company and I have them close the account. I cancel it and then I shred it. But each time I just feel a little pit of nausea. And I wonder, am I really doing the smarter thing? Because I was always raised, and unfortunately, I have raised my daughters as well to think that you need a good credit score to be able to buy a house, to be able to rent, and to buy a car. And so I am kind of backpedaling with my daughters, and I'm trying to say, hey, I screwed up here, but let's look at this
Hold
together.
on. Hey, I'm going to let George solve the
You're mom of the year already.
process. Let me tell you this. And this is a common misconception. This is literally destroying the country. Okay?
Yes.
This idea that once I say something, even if I'm passionate about it, I proclaim, I'm going to do this. When I get to office, I'm doing this and this and this. And then I get there and I get behind the curtain and I realize what I said I was about to do is going to make everything worse. Or I tell my son, you want to be a man, it looks like this and this and this. And then I go to counseling for the first time and I realize, oh, I'm the problem. And then I sit down. I'm telling you all that to tell you this. The greatest gift you can give your daughters is the gift of saying, hey, I really believed in this. This is how I was taught. And then I learned something new. And here's the magic phrase, I was wrong, period. All wisdom.
Yes.
All wisdom starts with the words, I was wrong. And I learned something new. I on my show the other day, I was telling somebody, I given nutrition advice, which I shouldn't have been doing. And one of the smartest men on the planet, Dr. Lane Norton, called me on my phone. He goes, hey, man, you were wrong. You gave wrong advice. And you know what? I was really grateful because then I could go make it right. Does that make sense? So the greatest gift you give, you're not selling your kids out or kind of jerking around. No, you are teaching them what wisdom looks like, which is to learn something new, practice it, believe it strongly, go full force, and then when you learn something new, do something different. Good for you. You're mom of the year, as George said. Good for you. Okay,
Well said,
George,
John.
sorry.
Thanks.
Okay, so Carrie, I felt the
you.
same way when I was getting out of debt because I thought the same. I was like, well, I got to rent cars. I rent apartments. How am I going to live my life? And then I realized the whole thing is a scam because I went to my apartment with no credit score and they were like, oh, yeah, that's no big deal. You just need to pay the first month's deposit. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I went to rent a car and they were like, yeah, cool. We'll just put a $300 hold on the debit card. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I went to get a mortgage and there's this thing called manual underwriting with a no score loan. And they went, hey, do you have a 12-month rental history and proof that you've paid other bills on time? And they were like, okay, cool. Here's a mortgage. And so it just made me go, oh my gosh, we've been scammed all along. You don't need a credit score to live your life.
And George, I don't know about you, Carrie, I don't know about you. When I had credit cards and I would cancel them, I would feel like I was cutting off one of my exit strategies. Like I had 50 different exit strategies in case it all went down. And every time I got rid of a credit card, I felt like I was shutting one big door. And like my body felt a little bit like, okay, now we only have 49 avenues to escape if it all goes down, and then 47, and then 42, and then right. And I think it's completely reframing. Debt is the prison you're locked in. It's not the solution to get out.
So, Carrie, I'm going to give you and your daughter some homework. This is a fun thing you guys can do together. Go listen to episode 7 of The Fine Print. I did a whole episode called The Dirty Truth Behind Your Credit Score. I literally call random apartments and homes across the country, and I ask them, can I rent without a credit score? And I talk to the mortgage lenders, and I say, hey, what does it look like for me to go through this process of manual underwriting? And they explain it in full. And so I think it will give you a lot of peace and confidence for this plan going forward. And let me tell you what's going to happen.
Okay.
You're going to pay off that debt in 18 months. And once you close all accounts, 6 to 12 months later, after that, you're going to have an indeterminable credit score. But in that 6 to 12 months, guess what you're doing? Saving up a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, saving up the down payment on the house. And so you got plenty of things to do until that credit score falls away. And then you're going to move into that next phase of your life with such peace and confidence, because you're not going to be drowning in payments anymore. You're going to have money in the bank to cover emergencies. So know that you're doing the right things.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that, because I'm always sharing what I'm reading with my husband. My husband always looks at me with such faith and trust, and he's just like, are we doing the right thing? And I said, according to Mr. Ramsey, yes. And so we aren't exactly.
Well, it's according to Dave, but it's also according to millions and millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
Who
The
don't
proof is
owe
in the pudding.
anybody anything. Yeah, they owe nobody anything. So you are on the right path. George, I think it's important to add one thing, and that lead us into this article I got here, man. They might have to say no to some things. If they start their business, they want it to look like this and have all this cool, like handy, like awesome artwork done in the wood and all this. They may have to phase that in over time because they're going to pay at the speed of cash, right? And so there is going to be some, I wish it could look like this right now, but it's going to look like that in 2 years. That's going to be part of it, right? Because we're going slow and we're doing it right. That's always worth it in the end, I think.
Yeah, I mean, swimming upstream, there's downsides. It's harder to swim upstream.
Yeah.
It's slightly harder to live in a world where credit is put on this pedestal. But what you also find is that you have less anxiety, and you're worried less about that next paycheck. And that counts for a whole lot more than me playing this game so I can have a quote-unquote easy, convenient life.
That's right. All right, so, George, we got this article that Austin's handed us. It says, over the past 7 days, Americans are searching for credit card debt 1.5 times more than student debt. And you and I have both seen the numbers. Inflation's at an all-time high. People are struggling financially. Yet holiday spending was the highest it's ever been in the history of the planet.
Well, think about it. We're more strapped than ever. And so where do we turn to?
Credit.
Other than credit cards.
Right.
And what does that mean? Oh, the interest rates are now jacked up to record highs to, where it's 25% interest. And you thought you were going to pay it off next month, but then life happened and inflation and the emergency. And all of a sudden you're paying 25% interest and it's ballooning. And so now we're seeing U.S. searches for how to pay off credit card debt reached a 5-year high within the past month.
And to my friends who are complaining about how the Washington just keeps racking up debt and spending your money, look at your own credit card statements. Look at your own bank notes. Look at your own car notes. George, this is... Let me ask you this question, because this feels madness to me. Is this credit card debt that is just... it is insane. It's insane. 1.5 times student debt. So at least student debt is paying for an education that's going to take you this way. This is paying for a meal you already ate.
It's really hard to justify that credit card spending.
Is this spending to prop up lifestyles to keep them going as they were, or is this because eggs, I have to eat?
I think it's both, and I think a lot of it is emotional, and some people are really struggling where they have to turn to their credit cards because they don't feel like they have a solution, and some people are enjoying some retail therapy, John.
I'm going to keep my lifestyle up no matter how far my dollar is or isn't going. Stop spending on credit cards.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
This is the Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined by my good friend George Camel, taking your calls on life and money. Give us a shout. Let's go to Diamond in Jackson, Mississippi. What's up, Diamond?
Hey, how are you?
Outstanding. How are you?
I'm all right.
Excellent. What's up?
Okay, so I have a question. I was recently on YouTube and I saw Dave Ramsey's growth stock mutual fund tutorial or video. And I have a question. I was trying to set an account up or a mutual fund up. And I want to know, should I open up the account through a bank or like through an online brokerage?
I just did this last week. So I can tell you what I did, but George can walk you through the traps and pitfalls of certain avenues, and then I'll tell you exactly what I did.
So
where's this coming from that you're wanting to kind of invest outside of retirement?
Actually, like I said, I know it's tax free. I was looking at the video, and I know he said it grows tax free.
Well, so if you're investing in retirement, there's something called a Roth. If you have a Roth 401k, or outside of your employer, you might have a Roth IRA. That keyword there is Roth. And what that means is you're just using after-tax dollars to invest that will then grow tax-free, and you can take the distributions from that tax-free. So that's what he was talking about. So that's not a mutual fund thing. That's the type of account the mutual funds sit in.
Right. Okay, so I can go to any local bank or so and set that up, or? Well,
you could. There's a lot of, there's the big three online that you've probably heard of is Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard. Those are trusted online ways to do it. But the question behind it is, why are you doing this right now? Are you in a financial spot where you've already maxed out retirement, you're out of debt completely, you have a fully funded emergency fund?
Well, I'm not in any debt. I'm 23 years old, and I just wanted to go ahead and get started.
Awesome.
Dude,
do you have money in savings?
So, do I have any money in savings?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Diamond, you're crushing it.
You are amazing. Okay, so you have no debt. You've got a pile of money in the bank. Is it enough to cover 3 to 6 months of your expenses?
Yes.
And then what are you doing for work right now?
I'm actually a registered sleep technologist. I work in Jackson as a registered sleep tech.
Can you come to Nashville and help me and George?
We need help.
We
Diamond.
need it so bad.
I surely can.
Okay, so do you have any retirement options through your employer?
I think I have a 401k set up. I think they take money out of my check every pay period.
Okay, so you've got some homework to do. Figure out what type of account that is and figure out how much you're contributing. If you're following our baby steps, you're at baby step 4, where you're out of debt, you have a fully funded emergency fund, and now it's time to invest 15% of your income in retirement. So what is your income? Gross salary?
Gross salary, I'd say maybe like $45,000 a year.
Okay, so we're going to take 15% of $45,000, and then every month you should be investing that. So that's going to be, let's see here, if my math is correct, that's $67.50 a year. And so divide that each month, you're going to be investing a few $100 into that account. And so if you just mark your contributions for 15% into that 401k, you are doing all you need to do. You don't need to go to a local bank because here's what's going to happen. You could open a Roth IRA, but that's only if you don't have a Roth option through your employer. Do they have a match? Have you heard about something like that?
No, that I'm not for sure.
Okay, ask your HR team and say, hey, do you guys have a 401k match? If they do, start there. Let's say it's 4%. You are going to invest up to 4% and get that match. That's a 100% return on that money because you put in 4% and they match it with 4%. Does that make sense?
Okay. Right.
And then beyond that, if there is no Roth option with your employer, you can go open up a Roth IRA and fully fund that for the year. That's going to be $6,500. Now, based on your income, you wouldn't quite get to that if you're investing 15%.
Okay.
Because the total you'd be investing today is going to be $6,750 a year. But that would put you on the path. And so I don't want you to feel like you have to get overwhelmed by setting up your own mutual fund account and brokerage accounts and all of this. That's for later on once you've maxed out all of your retirement options.
And so, George, just to recap, the two things she needs to do out of the gate is to sit down with her HR rep at work and say, do y'all have a Roth 401k option and do y'all have a match?
Yes.
We'll start there, right?
Absolutely.
And then if they don't have a Roth, but they do have a match, she's going to take up to the match and then open a Roth on the side there.
Yes. And then if and when your income goes up and you max out the Roth IRA, you've got the match, then we can move on to traditional, which would be your normal workplace, retirement plan. But until then, and until you're in baby step 7, where you have a paid-for house and you're in a different place financially, that's when you start to go outside of retirement. And so one thing that John and I do is we work with a financial pro, an investing pro, to walk with us, create a holistic strategy to help us build wealth. And you can find one of those in the Jackson area at RamseySolutions.com. Click on Ramsey Recommends and get in touch with a SmartVestor Pro.
That's actually what I was going to say. So I opened one the other day, and that's what I did. And I consider myself, I'm not the smartest guy in any room I walk into, but I'm not dumb, and I still don't understand all this stuff. I sit by Dave Ramsey every day. I still don't fully grasp it, so I call SmartVestor Pro and said, here's what I want to do. And we talked through goals and where do we want to be and how we're going to get there. And said, great, I'll take care of it for you. And here's the links and here's the this. And we've already talked through, I have a relationship with him. So I know he knows what I like and what I don't like and all that. But I did not get online and go through it all and learn how to, I called my SmartVestor Pro. And that it does cost money and it's worth it for me.
That's huge. Well, Diamond, I'm going to send you Dave's best-selling book, Baby Steps Millionaires, because that will kind of get you excited and also give you the right information when it comes to investing. Because good news for you, it's a lot simpler than most people would tell you out there. And so you're getting started on YouTube, which is great.
Way ahead of the game, Diamond.
If you just keep staying out of debt and you got money in the bank and you're investing something, you are already so far ahead of most Americans.
I wish the bar was higher than that, Diamond, to be honest, but
that's it.
You are so far ahead, so far ahead. Hey, about this time of year, we get flooded with calls. Everyone's looking for a fresh start with their money, or everybody is tripping out because every indicator, every news pundit is going, it's all coming down, and every politician's throwing grenades, whatever. It's been a tough couple years, and the prediction is there's going to be some rough going ahead. If that's you, you cannot wish for things to change and expect it to happen. You can't just sit there at the TV and get angry, and you can't sit there and just doom scroll and get mad and get raged out. You can do that, and you're gonna die younger, but it's not going to change your financial position. You've got to do some different things with your money. You have to do some different things with your money and have a plan. And we can teach you that plan in Financial Peace University. This is the course that will help you rethink how you manage your money, and you'll learn step by step how to pay off debt and build wealth. Nearly 10 million people have taken FPU, followed this plan, and changed their lives. It works. Don't try to reinvent it. Don't try to get too smart. Don't think that some fly-by-night newscaster suddenly has it all figured out, or some internet sensation already it works. Just follow the plan. Is it painful? Yep. Uncomfortable? Yep. Does it work? Yep. Every time. When you intentionally follow this plan with focused intensity, this year will be different. You'll have more peace, less anxiety, less frazzled relationships, and more peace in your finances all across the board. So start Financial Peace University right now at RamseySolutions.com/FPU. That's RamseySolutions.com/FPU.
And John, I want to mention, a lot of people they're like, oh yeah, I went through that 10 years ago. It's time to go through it again.
Yep.
Number one, it's changed about a dozen times. John and I are now in it. I mean, I have no clue how that even happened.
It's gotten more better looking, let's be honest.
That's true. But on top of that, there's like 9 hours of content in this, and just like a good movie, you go back and watch it, you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I didn't realize that. Oh. And so there's deep dives on investing and insurance, and the chances are you're in a different place financially than you were years ago. So go through this again. I go through it about once a year just to give me that pep I need, the information I need to get through that year and get ahead with money.
And, George, you and I aren't robots. Every month it's like, I just want to buy this, or I just want to, can't? Man, it's good just to have the principles go back and to go back and to go back.
Remind yourself why you're doing this stuff.
That's right. FPU. Go to RamseySolutions.com/FPU. This is The Ramsey Show. We'll be right back. Triple 825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. Listen, if you're a new listener, if you're brand new to this group of wacky people, if you're new to the cult, if you're new to Ramsey and doing things the Ramsey way and deciding to swim upstream and change your life, and you want a deeper dive into the Ramsey baby steps, you're watching these things on YouTube, you're seeing the TikTok, and you're like, what is this? We got you. Go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. Okay? This isn't some kind of move to like get you to buy everything. It's not it, man. We're trying to help out. We understand that what we are telling people to do is so countercultural. Washington doesn't do it. Your parents didn't do it. Your friends don't do it. No influencer on the internet does it. We get it. We get it. So we want to help out. We want you to become one of the millions and millions of people that's changed your life. So go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button, and we'll help you figure out the best next step for your financial journey based on exactly where you are today. Everybody's financial position is different, okay? Go to RamseySolutions.com and click on Get Started. Let's go to Greg and Marion. What's up, Gregory?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. What's happening?
Here's the question that I had. I have a $20,000 emergency fund, but what I did is we needed to remodel the basement, and we turned it into a living area, and I depleted my regular savings account, and I'm paying an extra $1,000 a month on my mortgage. Do I need to stop paying as much on my mortgage and rebuild like my regular savings account, or just keep throwing it at the principal of the mortgage?
Yes. You are on a pause paying extra on that mortgage until we have that emergency fund back to where it was.
Let me make sure that you...
No.
You have an emergency fund, and then you have a savings account.
Separate savings account.
What's the savings account for?
If we wanted to do something, we did it out of that instead of using the emergency fund or anything like that. We just, saved up money, and then we wanted to, because I had that basement money for about 3 years and finally found someone to do it.
So it was basically a sinking fund. And
you've got leftover money in the sinking fund for what, home repairs and renovations?
Yes.
Do you anticipate more home repairs and renovations?
No, I don't.
Okay. Then continue on. As long as you haven't touched that emergency fund, then you're good to continue on in baby step 6 and throw an extra on that mortgage.
So, Greg, in a real-world application, I've got an emergency fund, and I also have a truck that's got 200,000 miles on it. So my wife and I have created a sinking fund, which we just started another savings account line in our checking account, and I'm just putting money into that every month until it's the price of the car. And so if that's what you're doing, that's cool, but that money is directed. It's not just like this bucket that we're just dropping money in every once in a while. Like, let's put $1,000 here or $50 here or whatever. Because that that money's not working for you, it's just kind of sitting around. If it's intentionally being pulled over for a purchase, to redo the basement, to get a new roof, to get a new air conditioner, whatever that is, that's fantastic. Just make sure every one of those dollars has a name on it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's awesome.
If you just got that extra money in that savings account, why not throw it at the mortgage?
Okay, I didn't think about that.
There's one option.
George Byrne,
I was just
Greg.
seeing that I was having, extra stuff. So
I would rather see that mortgage balance start to go down. That's more exciting than sitting in a savings account. Now, if you know you have something like John mentioned, you know the car is going to need to get upgraded. None of these are emergencies. And so I love the original phrase of we needed to renovate the basement. It's a want, and you did it the right way by
And you
having
took
a
3
separate
years,
savings.
waited for some. Yeah, did it great.
Yeah.
And had the money. That's awesome.
But those are dangerous words whenever anyone says, we needed to. I was forced. We got the call the other day. We were forced to take out the loan. No one forced you. That's not how that works. You voluntarily signed because you felt like you had no option but to go into debt.
That's right.
So,
all right, let's go down the street to Justin in Knoxville. What's up, Justin?
Hey guys, it's exciting to talk to y'all. My question is, I've just gotten on the, I guess, Dave Ramsey plan. I've just started listening.
Welcome to the gang, man.
Yeah, and I've ordered the Total Money Makeover. It's on its way. But here's my question: I'm 41. I'm a window cleaner, and I have nothing saved for retirement. And I'm just getting. I have a really hard time. Not putting money into the market because I know the market is down and a lot of people are scared to put money in the market, but I'm not. And I'm looking at this as a sale and it's like time to buy. And I have nothing saved for retirement, and I'm worried about retirement because I can't continue to keep doing window cleaning until I'm 65, 70.
How much do you owe, brother?
So I'm like in debt. I have 133 on my mortgage and 24 on my cars and maybe 14 in credit cards. And the thing is I make enough money that I can, and we quit going out to eat. We've cut back. I cut all my credit cards up. I'm cutting back on everything. So we're paying extra on everything, but I also have this extra 15% that I can start throwing into the retirement. And that's where I'm stuck.
I'll let George dig into it. Off the top of my head, you're not going to get 28% return in the market, no matter how on sale it is.
Oh.
And so the 28% you're paying out one way, you're trying to earn back at the market rate, which is 10 or 11 or 12%. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, but everybody's saying like the market is down like
everybody around you is broke, brother. And listen, if Dave came to me, Dave has a lot of cars. He's got this one Corvette. I'm not a Corvette guy. I like trucks more than Corvette. But he's got this Corvette that's really old and it's incredible. Let's say it's worth $100,000. I don't know how much it's worth. It's probably worth way more than that. And he came to me and said, "John, I'm going to give you the deal of a lifetime. I'm going to give this to you for $50,000. That's the deal of a lifetime. It is on super sale. And I don't have $50,000 to buy it with." Both of those things can be true. You are correct. I am putting more money in retirement savings this year because the market is on sale. And I think it's going to go a little bit lower, and I'm going to keep buying. I'm with you. You don't have the money to do that because you owe $38,000 in depreciating assets and credit cards.
what's your income, Justin?
Roughly 95 to 100.
Okay. So you've got, on paper, I'm seeing $38,000 in consumer debt.
Yeah.
So if you got real intense focused, you didn't invest a dime into the market, and this year you said, I'm getting out of debt completely, could you do it by the end of the year?
Probably.
How much money do you have in the bank in liquid cash?
Just 1,000. We've just gotten started.
Okay. Now you said, I love investing in the market, but you also said, I've got nothing saving in retirement. So those are two confusing sentences. Have you been investing outside of retirement?
Or you love the idea of doing it?
No, I love the idea of doing it because I've gone all these years of not investing, and it's like now I see the,
but why
the
now?
market's dipped. And
the market's been down in previous
dipped.
years.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had...
It's just, I guess, watching these TikToks where everybody's talking about the market's down, it's a good time to buy.
You know what's not cool on TikTok, Justin, is someone saying, "Hey guys, don't invest in the stock market. Just start paying off your debt from smallest to largest." If I posted that on TikTok today, I would get about 4 views and about 1,000 comments of people saying, "This guy's trash. You need to invest in the market." And so it's all get rich quick over there, man. So turn off that input of social media and let's turn up the fire on this debt thing and say, hey, how much money would I have to invest if I had no payments in the world and I had a huge emergency fund and I could breathe easy, sleep better at night, and now I can start really investing? And so 1 year from now, you'll be there investing in the market. But right now, we have a priority of getting rid of this debt and having money in the bank.
I also am going to send you Ken Coleman's Get Clear assessment. It's very common people to wake up in their 40s and 50s and realize, oh, I can't do this manual labor job indefinitely. At some point, this comes to an end. I think you're wise to start thinking, what might that look like? So hang on the line here. We're going to send you a copy of the Get Clear assessment, and you can start asking yourself and your family the question, when we're out of debt and I can do anything, what would that look like? Hey, this is another hour in the books. We'll be right back on The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's George Camel. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I'm your host, John Deloney, and I'm joined here by my good friend, George Camel, and we are taking your calls on just about everything: life, money, your marriage, your work, whatever's going on in your life. Our promise is we'll tell you the truth, and we will sit next to you and figure out what the next right thing to do is. Give us a shout. 888-825-5225. Let's go out to Mike in beautiful San Diego, California. What's up, Mike? How we doing?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it, man. What's up?
So, I'm at a point in my life where I don't know what to do anymore, and I'm just really stressed out and depressed, and I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel anymore.
Tell me about it, man.
So I have a construction business, and it does okay. I mean, it does enough to pay the bills, but I don't even feel motivated to grow it, and I'm just lost at what I want to do. So, where
does the loss come from, man? Because what you're describing is you're describing work. You're describing, this. You got a wife. You got kids.
I have a girlfriend, and we have one kid together.
Okay.
I went through a divorce a few years ago.
Okay.
And that messed me up mentally and financially.
Yeah.
So,
was that where it started? This idea that no matter what you do, this is just kind of be the way this is.
Well, kind of.
Or did you pick that up when you were a kid? Where'd that come from, man? Somebody gave you that story that crappy things happen. This is the way this is. And maybe you can go to a couple of ball games and a couple of concerts, and your kid will be a good soccer star in elementary school, and that's kind of the joy you get. Who told you that, man?
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm really lost. That's why I'm trying to find what my purpose is, basically.
So what do you want to do, man? Like, if you could snap your fingers right now, what would you want to do?
Well, I mean, I love what I do business-wise, like work. I love the construction business.
What do you love about it? What do you love about it?
I love building, creating, just everything about it.
Do you like working with customers? Do you like planning and sitting with architects? Or do you like getting a crew of guys together and going to solve a problem? Or do you like picking up the shovel and just getting after it yourself? What do you like about it?
More like the managing side of getting things together and just labor side. I'm doing all the labor right now, but I feel I'm more good at putting everything together and getting everything going.
Okay. What about your kid?
Makes sense.
Tell me about your kid.
Yeah, he's 2 years old.
Yeah. What's his name?
Cyrus.
Is he fun? Is he a mess? He's all over the place?
Oh yeah, he's really active.
Yeah. Active is what exhausted fathers say so they can remind themselves, I still love you, I still love you, I still love you. He's very active. Well done, man.
So, Mike, outside of your career and obviously you've got, your personal life at home, if you could snap your fingers a year from now, what do you think would transform your life to where you wake up and you're excited? What's keeping you up at night right now that we can help with?
Well,
is it money, or do you have money problems? Are you not happy with your relationship?
Well, that's another. I think that's my biggest stress right now. It's the money side because I'm in debt with friends and family.
How much debt are you in total?
Credit card debt, close to $20,000.
$20,000, and that's credit card debt and personal loans?
No credit card or personal. It's mostly to friends and family.
Why are you borrowing money from friends and family, dude?
My business slowed down for a while, and I was just trying to make things and just trying to make ends meet, I guess.
What's your income?
On a good month, like 5,000.
Okay, and is your girlfriend working? Are you guys splitting bills? How is this working?
No, my girlfriend, she's a stay-at-home mom at this moment.
Okay, so you're the sole provider right now.
Yeah.
You got a mortgage?
No mortgage. I'm renting.
How much is your rent?
$1,800.
That's a lot of rent for your income.
Yeah.
Could you guys downsize? Could you move?
No, I don't know. In San Diego, huh?
Yeah, well, I tried looking at something cheaper, but everything's just,
The other option is we got to get this income up if we're going to choose to live in San Diego. And so that becomes the next piece of the puzzle. You're running this business?
Yeah. So
but are you the sole employee, or do you have people working for you?
No, I'm just a sole employee.
Okay. So to scale, how do we get this thing to where you're making $100,000?
Well, I've been applying with construction companies as project manager, and I get emails saying that my application and resume is getting a lot of attention, but I have not got one interview. And I've applied to over 30 places, I think, yeah.
So, dude, let that tell you a story that you want to be a project manager at a construction company, you know how to do that, and 30 different companies have said, we don't think you're quite there yet. Awesome. Go to the next rung right below that and go in there as a head of projects or a head of something or a head of the construction, whatever part of construction you're really good at, pouring concrete, doing landscape, whatever you're good at, and get your foot in the door. Mm-hmm. You're absorbing every rejection as a statement about Mike's worth. Not just somebody saying, no, I don't think that's the right job for you, or I got somebody else in line for this, or everybody in California is trying to find work, and so we've got you. Like, at some point, it becomes like, you've got some skills. I'm thinking of you right now. Me and George can't do what you do. Like, if we can't just run our mouths on the radio, we're in a mess. You can build a thing. You can fix a thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I want to see a couple of things. I want you to call BetterHelp.com today and BetterHelp.com/Deloney, and it's going to give you a discount. I want you to go talk to a counselor. Okay, I think you're struggling with depression. I think you need to call somebody. The second thing is we're going to send you Ken Coleman's Get Clear Assessment and Proximity Principle, teach you to get close to some of these guys, and I want you to read it. And I'm going to send you FPU, Financial Peace University, but you and your girlfriend have to go through these classes. Stop playing house, get married, start settling into this thing, and dude, the light will come on if you will look for it, my brother. We got you. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
This is The Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. Hey, listen, please, it's a huge help. It's a help to us, let's be honest, it's a help to us. But more importantly, when you subscribe, when you hit the subscribe button, when you share, when you like the videos, when you put in your 5-star reviews, it changes the algorithms, and it actually puts the life-changing advice and wisdom in other people's feeds and more people's feeds. And so it's a way to spread life change. It didn't cost you a penny, but it's a way to help other people, your neighbors that you might not even know, you'll never meet, by simply just subscribing, hitting the like button, and the 5-star reviews. So thank you so much for those of y'all who have done that. Please continue to hit the subscribe button and share with a friend. All right, today's question of the day.
Let's get to it. It comes from Rick in New Mexico. He says, we're in our early 30s, make $120,000 a year, and we're financially stable. We want to buy a house, but with high prices and interest, our mortgage would be roughly $2,200 a month. We could afford the payments, but that's less we are able to save. My parents own several rentals, are financially stable, and want to buy us a house, so we would just pay them rent of $1,400 a month instead of us buying a house. They said once we pay it off with no interest, they will put my name on the house. But the problem is my father can be controlling, and historically, after doing something nice, he has been known to throw it back in my face down the road if he doesn't get his way, or if we do something he doesn't agree with. Should we take my parents' help or do it on our own?
Rick, you know this. The question you and your wife need to ask yourself is, what's the price of your marriage? And what's the price of your soul? And what's the price of that Thanksgiving dinner when your dad looks across the table and says, why didn't you do this? And you say, well, Dad, and he goes, I bought you a house. What's that all worth? What's that worth? Because the numbers you've laid out for me, it's not worth that. It is not worth that. You make too much money. You're doing too well. For you to subject yourself to somebody else bullying you around just because there's some money attached to it.
I'm not doing the strings attached deal, and he's already painting the picture of what his life is going to be like if he does this deal. And so I think you just need to say, hey, thanks so much for the offer. We're going to go our own way and buy our own house, but we appreciate you guys. And you guys make plenty of money. Make $120,000 a year. $2,200 sounds like a very reasonable mortgage payment. And if you feel like it's too high, or for some reason we're not getting all the details here, you can do something called waiting. And you keep saving until you have more down payment to lower that mortgage payment. So do it when you are ready, but don't be bullied into it. Don't be pressured into it, and because that is the worst thing you can do financially.
And let me say this, Rick, and to everybody listening. It's often that I hear situations like this where mom and dad want to help, but there's these subtle strings or really significant strings and all that attached to it. I'm going to give you this, but you got to do this. And if you ever do that, I don't want that life, right? And then we turn around and feel pressured on the advice side. Yo, why aren't y'all buying a house? Y'all got to buy a house. Y'all just renting, you're just wasting money, just throwing money away, throwing it away. And so if you're not going to take the deal because you don't trust the character of the people involved in the deal, right? A gift won't be a gift. A gift is just another way to put hooks and string into you. Don't also fall prey to their advice and wisdom about how dumb you are with your money. You and your wife sit down and say, what kind of life do we want to create for ourselves? And can we create that life? And what do we got to do to make that thing happen? It might mean, like George said, it's going to take 2 years before we buy a house. Cool. We don't want it to. We can afford a $2,200 a month payment. We don't want that. We don't ever want a payment more than $1,750 or whatever. Cool. If that's what y'all decide, rock and roll. We're going to rent a little bit longer then and save up a little bit more. We're going to take a few more shifts or whatever that looks like. But don't take wisdom from people that are not trustworthy.
And the other danger of this is you guys pay $1,400 a month for 10 years, and all of a sudden he decides, you know what? I'm actually going to use this as a rental property because we need the money in retirement. And all of a sudden, you've been putting money into this thing that you don't actually own. Right. And so that's super risky. I would not take this deal.
Or little junior decides he's going to play soccer instead of baseball, and my boys are playing baseball. I'm taking whatever. You don't know what
baseball family.
You don't trust this guy. Yeah. No deal. Keep renting, man. Your marriage and soul are worth it. Let's go to Jason in Columbia. What's up, Jason?
Hey, how you guys doing? Pleasure to talk to you guys.
Partying, dude. You too. What's up?
So I had two questions. Well, I guess it was a two-part question, but so my wife and I have a vehicle right now that is a 2020, and we owe about $11,000 on it, and we wanted to get rid of it to eliminate a payment. I just started the FPU about a week ago, so I'm trying to get everything in order. But the problem that I'm running into is if we sell our vehicle to free up a payment, that means that for what I would like to do, which is get a truck or an SUV, because with that I would be able to do some side jobs with woodworking. But I would get a vehicle that has super high mileage, and it almost doesn't make sense to do it. So I'm not sure what I should do in that situation.
What kind of woodworking?
Just building projects, building furniture for just individuals, nothing to sell to companies or anything like that. So it'd just be side work.
How often would you do this work?
As often as I could. I would spend nights and weekends on it if I could. It's kind of a hobby of mine, something that I really wanted to do. So it doesn't really feel like work, so I could just focus on it as much free time as I had.
Well, here's what I'm asking. I see you driving around my neighborhood all the time, pickup trucks with like Home Depot stamped on them or something, or U-Haul stamped on them, and it says $19 one-day rental. And is that ideal? No, dude. That's the worst. It's the worst. But it's also not a truck payment. It's also not a trap where you're going to buy a truck with super high miles. It's going to fall apart on you. And or right now trucks are, dude, I'm trying to buy a truck myself. They're so expensive. The used ones with 200,000 miles are expensive.
Right.
How much debt do you have?
And we're going to float it, dude.
Right. So I'm about $50,000 in debt on credit cards and loans. No student loans.
Okay. What could you sell the car for?
Probably around 20, 21.
And you owe 11.
I owe 11 on it.
Okay, so you'd have $10K left over to get something.
Right.
And so that becomes our goal, and we get creative. And you could, I mean, if it's truly for hobbies, you can get the dumpiest, oldest pickup truck out there if you just need to haul some wood. Right?
Right, but I also have my wife and a 2-year-old, and I have, which is kind of my last concern, but I would like, I have a 100-pound dog that is a PTSD dog for my wife, and I would like to be able to take her with us on some trips, so that's kind of one reason why I wanted to.
Could you get a minivan? An old minivan?
Sure, if it made sense, if it wasn't like 170, 180,000 miles, that's where I run into the problem. Was if I do get rid of a car with such those miles that's still under warranty with no problems and sell it to get a clunker, I don't know if that's a smart decision or not.
Here's what not the smart decision is: you got no business going on vacation for the next 2 years, brother.
Yeah, I'm not going on vacation. No.
Or that's what I'm saying. Like the idea is we are locking this sucker down for 2 years because we're in a hole.
Gotcha.
Right. You're trying to keep your lifestyle consistent and these things that you want to do and you want to have fun. Dude, I get that. You want to do these things and at the same time pay off $50,000 debt and have a side hustle, and you're doing everything all at the same time. And I don't think you fully absorbed the amount of sacrifice that the next 2 years of your life is going to be to get $50,000 paid off.
What's your household income?
About $100,000.
Okay, so we could get rid of this debt in about a year with some side hustles?
Well, I'm not like I say, I'm new to this, but from what I've figured out, I thought it was going to take about 24 months, but I don't know. Maybe that was without side hustles as well. So if I mean,
this is we're covering our four walls: food, utilities, housing, transportation. Every other dollar, we're going to try to allocate towards that debt outside of our bills we have to pay. But we're not eating out. We're not going on vacation, like John said. And so the question is, how do I come up with $4,000 I can throw at this debt every single month?
And I want to Uber. Great. I mean, I want to do woodworking. Awesome. This isn't the season for that. The investment in that is going to cost me $10,000 in a truck, plus some tools, plus some. I'm going to start Ubering. I'm going to start mowing yards down the street. I'm going to keep that dream alive down the road. But for the next 2 years, the house is on fire and I got to put the fire out. So I'm going to do other work that I don't want to do, but I'm going to scratch and claw, get the sucker done. Man, you knock it out in 1 year, dude. That's game changer, man.
Now we can get a truck and have some hobbies.
You can get a real truck, man. It's not going to fall apart on you. You can take your family on trips. It'd be incredible. 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. We'll be right back.
I say it all the time. If you're a business owner and you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And when markets are shifting, it's even more important. You've got to know where you stand so you make your next move the right move. And you don't have to be in the dark here. Over 31,000 businesses, including my team at Ramsey, know their numbers because they use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, planning, budgeting, and inventory so you can manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Having everything in one place has saved my team hours each week since we made the switch to NetSuite. NetSuite is a game changer. So head on over to netsuite.com/Ramsey to get a product tour today. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Triple 825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm John Deloney, joined by George Campbell. We're taking your calls on money and life, whatever's going on in your world. We're here to walk alongside you. Let's go to Jasmine in the NYC. What's up, Jasmine? How we doing?
Hi, guys. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course. What's up?
So I have a bit of a situation here. I just finished actually the Total Money Makeover book. And I'm in baby step 2, but I have a total of $15,000 in credit card debt. So it's not much, but when you think of my age and kind of how much I make, I really shouldn't be in the situation.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
How did you rack up $15,000 in credit card debt?
I got credit cards and I did not know how to spend correctly.
Do you have a bunch of cool stuff?
Yeah. I think I was in a situation where my parents got divorced and all that stuff, and I ended up being very, very independent. And I think that way to cope with a lot of my problems was to shop.
Ah, okay.
Dude,
listen.
You're the first one to ever do that, Jasmine.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Jasmine, listen.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of people. A lot on my show, on this show, and coaching all over the country. Very few people who are twice, 3 times your age have the level of insight you just displayed. The idea that, hey, when I am stressed, when I'm trying to figure out why my parents broke up, why my dad chose them over me, like when you can say, okay, this happens in my body, and then I just start shopping. If you can link those two together, which you've done, you are so far ahead of the game. Because now you know, okay, my body feels like this. When it does that, I'm going to create some alternative plans so that I don't hurt future Jasmine. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I want to give you some encouragement. You were way ahead of the game. Now he's got to figure out how to clean this mess up and get on the road, right?
So continue on, Jasmine. What's the question?
So I currently just transferred schools to a much cheaper school because I was paying way too much and I had student loans. I'm going into the school now, going into my junior year with no student loans. And I'm going to continue on with my next year with no student loans as well, God willing. But I still have to pay off my student loans that are for my old school. That's $12,000. I've been listening to a lot of your guys' podcasts and all that, and you guys always say, like, don't wait for the government, pay off your student loans. And my student loans are unable to be touched at the moment until June, quote unquote, waiting for the government to make a decision. I don't want to gain more interest on everything. So I kind of just don't know really what to do in terms of the order of things, if I should be tackling my credit card debt or my student loans. Like, I really just kind of don't know what to do.
So are the student loans broken up, or is it one giant $12,000 loan?
One giant $12,000. Well, it's broken up, sub, but yeah, in total it's $12,000.
But you make individual payments on separate loans?
The provider that I have gives me an option to either do all or one by one.
Okay. So it sounds like they are separate loans. And so what I would do is just list every single individual balance out, smallest to largest, and ignore the interest rate. And you said you can't pay on them?
It's telling me that I don't have to until June.
You don't have to,
because they want to
you have the ability to.
Yes, you can. And put your credit cards in there as well.
Okay, so just basically put my loans inside of my whole snowball.
Yes, wherever the credit cards fall in there. So if you have, it sounds like you've got multiple credit cards?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just list them all out. They'll be commingled in there in the debt snowball. But if you list them out from smallest to largest and tackle each individual balance, you will feel the progress versus staring at a mountain of $12,000 and a mountain of $15,000. Because the smallest balance is probably a few $100, maybe $1,000.
Yeah.
And now we go, okay, I could pay off $1,000. And then you go, all right, the next biggest one's $2,000, but I freed up that payment. So I can roll that payment plus the margin I was throwing at it into the next one. And that is how the debt snowball has gotten so many people to debt freedom.
And don't be afraid to be as cheesy or as creative as you want to be. I was in my late 30s, maybe it was mid 30s. I don't remember. I was too old to be doing what I was doing. My wife and I were paying everything off, and we just created one of those construction paper chains that you tear off every time you hit a milestone. You pay off a credit card, or you pay off. You move that number from 20,000 to 19,000 to 18,000, and we hung it in our bedroom. Just so I have to see it every day. So get creative and just begin to knock these credit cards out and the student loans out, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other.
What's your income, Jasmine?
Okay. I make $50K.
Awesome.
$50K? Doing
Way
what?
to go.
I'm a manager at a restaurant.
Okay.
Yes, I'm very blessed.
You can knock this out in a year, right?
I hope so, yeah.
No, Jasmine. You could have your 21st birthday and owe nobody anything.
Okay.
Imagine that. Just imagine that for a second.
Yes, I definitely do.
And then on the day after the night of your 21st birthday, your boss says, "Hey, you got to come in and work." It's my 21st birthday. I took off 6 months ago, and he's like, "I don't care what you did. You're coming into work," and you can smile and be like, "No, I'm not." Because you will be free, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Awesome.
You got this, Jasmine.
Have you watched the FPU videos?
No, I haven't. I've been deciding if I want to do that or not.
We decided for you.
We got you. We're going to send you Financial Peace University because we're to welcome you to our gang. We're going to send it to you. Here's the deal. You got to watch them all. And if you're really cool, you can bring a couple of friends with you and start spreading this message with them too. But we'll send you, and we're going to go ahead and send you the Every Dollar app as well as a part of this package. And you can begin to learn to manage your money as you get better and better at budgeting and going through all of the lessons. So hang on the line here, and Jenna will hook you up with FPU. Awesome. All right, let's go to Stephanie in Mesa. What's up, Stephanie? How we doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Of course. What's up?
I've been listening to you guys for years and years. I've gone to college and taken the courses where they show your videos and I do your budget. I have my $1,000 emergency fund. I even went to your conference and volunteered thinking that would help me get out of this rut of thinking it's not, possible for me. But I keep having like doubts. Like I don't take it the step after the $1,000 emergency fund to do anything else. My husband's on board. He said, yeah, he starts saving his receipts and all that stuff so we could do a budget. And then it's me. I keep stopping and giving myself excuses like I don't know what I want to do in college. After I'm done with college, I have 2 more classes left before I graduate with my bachelor's. But
who told you, hey, Stephanie, who told you that what you want and what you need doesn't matter?
I don't know.
You do. You've been it was your job to make sure the adults in your life didn't get, like, that mom didn't get mad or dad didn't get raged out, wasn't it?
That is true.
It's always been your job to make sure everybody else is doing their thing and you have no gap, no space for you to do what you know is right, what you know will give you peace, what you know will, you don't even know how to feel that. And when you go to a seminar, you go to the classes, you get all jazzed up and you go home like, I'm going to do this. And your body says, this is uncomfortable. And you head off again. The info, you don't need any more information. What you got to do is start believing that Stephanie's needs and wants and values matter. And here's what I want you to do, okay? I want you to take your husband out for breakfast one Saturday morning, okay? And tell him, we're going to talk, we're going to plan. And I want you to tell him, this knucklehead on the radio told me to write down the things that I need that would make my body feel safe, that would make me feel loved in this relationship. And I apologize. I should have told you some of these a long time ago. I didn't, but we're starting over from today. Here's what I need. Here's what I feel when. Are you still in with me? You still love me? And I almost guarantee your husband's going to look at you and go, oh, thank God, I'm 100% in. And then you can get on the path to freedom. Only when you believe you're worth crossing the finish line are you going to even take that first step. You're worth it, Stephanie. You're worth it. We'll be right back. Triple 825-5225. This is the Ramsey Show. Hey, George.
Hey, John. Oh,
that sounded like an old Nickelodeon show. I forgot what it's called, but like,
you're
hey,
way too old to have watched Nickelodeon.
George. No, I watched
like 50.
Nickelodeon when it was OG, dude.
Wow.
Original.
I grew up on that stuff.
So our friend Jill over in SEO sent this note over the other day. Over the last 2 years, Monday was the highest search for depression over any other day in the U.S.
Wow.
And I wonder if, I just keep going here. Help with depression and anxiety is currently at an all-time high in the U.S. Insomnia spikes in January. It's currently at an all-time high. Oregon has the highest search interest of all U.S. states. Marriage counseling near me reached an all-time high in January 2023. Bullet journal and diary spikes in January in the U.S. Sleep tracking is a top trend related to bullet journal at an all-time high in 2023. Here's the deal. George, I the words I hear across the country when I'm traveling is I feel it. We've created a world that our bodies cannot exist in. Our bodies were not designed to be constantly chained to all these different corporations who we owe money to. Our bodies weren't designed to be married to people that we didn't really like or didn't know how to communicate with, didn't know how to talk to. Our bodies weren't designed to sit there and just be inundated with how we don't look right, we don't make enough money, we don't drive the right thing, like we're not enough. Our bodies weren't designed to have other people raise our kids all the time and then tell us what's wrong with our kids and here's why your kid's doing this. And we just create a world for ourselves our bodies can't live in. And so it makes my heart happy to see that come January, people said, enough. I'm going to go see a marriage counselor. I'm going to go get the help with my anxiety or my depression that I need. I just want everyone out there. Things look tough, and things look like tougher, right? If you look down, like the country owes a bunch of money, and we've got a recession, and all this stuff. I get it. What you can't do in the comfort of your own couch is solve that. You can't do anything about it. And for most of us, when we say I can't do anything about it, it makes us tighten our grip. And the key to anxiety, the key to some of these challenges is to loosen your grip. And for most of us, we can't just do that on our own. You can't just will yourself to do that. And so calling somebody, not just Googling the answer, but calling somebody to get some help with it. You can listen to the Dr. John Deloney show, my show. And we also have an article called How to Deal with Anxiety linked in the show notes for today's show that you can check out just as a primer. Here's a good place to start. But I want to encourage everybody. If you're waking up every Monday morning and you're thinking, I can't do this again. Call somebody. Don't Google it. Call somebody. Call a friend and say, I'm not all right. Call a counselor. Call BetterHelp. Call somebody. Say, I'm not okay. I need to talk to somebody. Tell your wife for the first time, I'm really scared. Tell your husband for the first time, the way we live scared me. But just know you're not alone. And I'm proud of you for everybody for getting the help that they need. And don't give up on yourself.
Yeah, it feels like we are. The silver lining here is we are normalizing people seeking help.
That's right.
And they're going, I don't have to just repress this like my parents' generation did. I can deal with this. I want to grow. I want to get healthy for the sake of my family, my finances, all the things that matter to me, my health. And so there's some good news in this, even though these searches that are an all-time high.
Terrible.
It means people want help.
I also want to say this, and this is going to sound weird because I wrote this article, How to Deal with Anxiety. I wrote a book about anxiety. I just turned in a draft for another book on mental health stuff. I think for many of us, we don't need any more information. We need to call somebody, a real person. We need connection. We need a person to sit across from us or to come over to the house, or we go to their house, or we go grab something to eat, and we just say, hey, I'm not all right. Here's what I'm struggling with. And like I got 2 PhDs in this. I know the answers. The answers don't help as much as sitting down with somebody and saying, I'm not all right. And there's a lot of science about that. There's a lot of neurology about that and psychology about that, the way our bodies work. But most of us don't need to Google yet another article. Most of us need to sit down and say, my name is John, I'm not okay. Right? So have the courage to go do that. And I'm proud of you all who have done that. Those of you who are reaching out, good for you. Keep doing it. And if you do want some information before you call somebody, check out this article, How to Deal with Anxiety. All right, let's see here. Let's go to Adam in Cincinnati. What's up, Adam?
Yeah. My question is, I was recently fired from a job, kind of went into panic mode, decided that I'm going to pull from my 401k and pay off my credit card debt, and then use the monthly, payments that I'm making to those credit card debts to roll over into a car loan, and then use the remainder of the 401k to pay down the car to try to get out from underneath that.
What made you feel like that was your only option?
We have a fairly large house mortgage. I make majority of the money for the income for the house. We had enough to maybe make it a month and a half, and I didn't know when I was going to go back to work.
Are you working now, or?
I have a job that should start Monday, so everything should return to normal as far as, the inflow of money.
Good. What will be your income at that point, household?
Our household income's right about 135 to 140.
All right. How much debt do you now have total?
So I've got I'd say we probably got 8 in credit cards and probably 20 in a car.
And what about the 401k loan? Or did you just withdraw money?
that 401k I was very little into it. I completely emptied that one.
How much was in there?
There was 26 in there, and I ended up with like 14 is what it was after taxes and penalties.
Oh. So what'd you do with that money? Have you already blown through that?
No, it's that I haven't actually got it yet, but my plan is once I get it,
Adam,
is this reversible?
Can you stop and call and cancel it?
I don't think so. I
would do everything I can. Say I screwed up. I got fired. I freaked out. I need to cancel this. I do not want this. Please take it. Please do not send this money. Do whatever you can. Okay? This is a fear response. A bear showed up at your cave. An actual real bear scares you to death, and you ran as fast as you could. And like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon, you just bammed your head into a rock in the cave. Okay.
So this wasn't my only retirement.
No, I know. I'm not saying it's your only thing. We're not all that. I'm just saying you don't need it, my brother.
You took a 50% hit on this money, and
you don't need the money.
You didn't need it. You have a great income.
You started another job on Monday. Things got really scary. You panicked. It happens to all of us. Now you know in the future, hey, I need an emergency fund. But with your salary, you can pay off this debt in short order, man.
Is it 28 total now in debt between the credit cards and the car loan, or is there other debt?
Well, I have a home mortgage too.
Okay, so we're going to ignore the mortgage for now. We're going to focus on this consumer debt. Let's pay off this credit card first. And how quickly could you pay that off? Making $140. How quickly could you pay off $8,000, going scorched earth, throwing everything you can at it?
Probably 6 months. I don't know.
6 months
with a budget too.
Okay, we're going to hook you up with every dollar to get a plan for this money. You're making $140. Are you taking home $8, $9, $10,000 a month?
Yeah, between me and my wife, yeah, probably.
Okay, so if we started looking at our expenses, going outside of just covering our bills, putting food on the table, we're not eating out, we're not going on vacation, we're not investing, you could pay these credit cards off within 2 months.
You got to get serious though, dude. And you're like, you got to get real serious, man. We can't want this more than you do.
Hang on the line. We're going to send you every dollar premium. Start making a plan for your money. You've got the income. You don't have to do stupid anymore. You're working hard for it. Now let's do something good with it, which is pay off this debt, get an emergency fund in place, and start building wealth the right way.
This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, it's Dr. John Deloney. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter. What's up, America? We're live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio. It's the Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your money, your relationships, your marriage, your kids, and your life. I'm John Deloney, joined here by George Campbell, and we're taking your calls just about everything. The call is free, and the advice is worth about that much, but we'll give it our best shot. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Marie in Fargo. What's up, Marie? How we doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Hey, talking directly into your phone.
Yes. Can you hear me?
It's a little bit wobbly there.
Keep going. We'll see if we can
give
get
it a
you.
shot. Yes.
What's your question?
Okay. So I'm the fourth generation in our family business. My boyfriend and I have been together for 4.5 years. My dad wants me to get a prenup. Neither my boyfriend and I want to, but my brother did recently get divorced, and he did have one.
Okay. So usually my thoughts on prenups, I'm not a fan of them. It's kind of like it's planning the end of something when you're going into it. When you've got something like a family business, here's what a prenup can protect you from. Less from your husband, your future husband, and more from your future husband's cousin's sister's brother's roommate. Or your husband, heaven forbid, gets sick and passes away, or gets in a wreck, and some sister or some cousin sues you guys for your. Does that make sense? It just separates it all.
Okay.
That's where a prenup can be very, very useful. It's less about I don't trust him, or I wouldn't be marrying him. It's more about if something happens to him, which is why we have insurance. That's why we have wills, because something will happen to all of us. But heaven forbid something does happen to him. It protects your business. It protects your stake in the business. It protects the whole thing from anybody coming out of the woodwork to try to take a piece of it.
Okay.
So what's your net worth?
I didn't even know that was possible.
Yes, it is. It is.
Me personally, not so much yet. I'm still young. Well, not that young, but the business does around $6 million a year.
That's a lot of dollars. And so you would be inheriting the business or some portion of it?
I wouldn't inherit it. I need to buy myself in, but yes.
And so what I would do is take a job. I would start working there if that's what you wanted to do, and take a...
Oh, no, I have been for the last decade.
Okay. Do you have enough money to buy in?
Currently, I have a sliver of the pie.
What does that mean?
Emphasis on an extreme, a tiny little bit of it.
So if
I have a very small...
What's your buy-in going to be?
I only have 3% of the business currently.
You only have 3% of the money it's going to take to buy the business, or you're slowly buying it piece by piece over time?
I own 3% of the business currently.
Okay.
And your boyfriend, what is his financial situation?
Right now, he's laid off because he's a seasonal worker, but when he does work, he makes more than I do.
Okay. I mean, we don't advise against prenups in situations where there is an inordinate amount of wealth that you're coming into with this very lucrative jewelry business. So it is something that you may want to look into. And it sounds like you guys are doing it, approaching it with the right spirit of you're going, hey, I'm not doing this because I'm nervous about marrying this guy. I'm doing it to protect us from crazy down the line. And that's the way you want to think about it.
And neither of us want to get one, but my parents do, and I'm just concerned.
Here's what I recommend you do.
He's flat out said, I'm not getting one. And that's how I feel as well, but I don't know what to do.
I would sit down. This is going to be worth $500 or $1,000 to do this because of what's at stake here. I would sit down with an attorney in your local community and tell him what your dad has told you. Tell him what y'all want to do. Tell him what I told you. That this is less about him and more worried about something down the road. An attorney may advise you, well, he won't be an owner, you will, and he would have part of your estate. So there may be all kinds of different ways involved here, okay, that may be able to avoid a prenup. I think you have to get past the idea that a prenup is y'all planning for your divorce or you're planning for your husband to screw you over. That's not what we're talking about here, okay? One red flag for me is your husband already planting his feet in the ground against your dad. I'm not doing that. That attitude before you even walk down the aisle that's a red flag for me as someone who's just talked to a million different couples.
Sure.
That tells me he's more invested in his ego and his pride than in what's the best way I can honor my wife? What's the best way I can keep her and this business safe? And the best way we can be connected and unified as a family. And I have to look in the mirror and say, no, I got some crazy cousins or I've got some crazy, you know what I mean? He's got to be able to do that and say, oh, okay, this actually protects you in the case I get hit by a bus.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
I never thought of it from that point of view.
So it's a much... I get what your dad's trying to protect his business and he's trying to love his daughter the best he can. I don't fault him for a second. I also don't fault him for being overly cautious and you having to say, hey, that's too cautious. I I don't have any heartburn about you and your husband saying, dude, we really are not interested in signing a prenup. We're going into this thing together. I get that too. That's why I would get a third party who has no stake in any of the family stuff or the drama, and it's just going to give you wisdom particular to the business, to your situation, your state and local laws, all that kind of stuff. So that's where I would go. But think bigger. And again, I'm not for prenups. I don't like them at all. I don't like them at all. But there is a time and a place for them.
It's a good word. And with this situation, he is your boyfriend. And so unless we are really, like, we're about to get married, this is not a thing we have to deal with right now. I mean, we don't even know if he's going to propose, what this looks like down the line, but it's good to at least get some information from the lawyer going, hey, what does this look like on paper in a worst case scenario? What would actually happen? And that will give you some peace and confidence moving forward with it or not moving forward with it.
That's right. Hey, here's a fact about Ramsey Solutions I'm super proud of. We've never laid off anyone. We've let people go, but we've never laid anybody off. For the past 30 years, we've been doing what we preach. We run a cash-based business, which means we budget for everything. That includes salaries and compensation for our team members. You deserve the right to work for someone you can trust, someone who won't cut you loose because of their poor planning. While other people are firing, we are hiring. We have several open roles, marketing, sales, technology. We want people like you to come join our show. Check out all the open roles at RamseySolutions.com/careers. RamseySolutions.com/careers.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, hosting with Dr. John Deloney this hour. And, John, I got a video I'd like to play for you. You know, like when the substitute teacher shows up and it's like, let's watch a video. I kind of feel like the cool teacher because of that.
I feel like this has become one of your favorite things, is to say, John, you live in a bubble, and here's what's happening in the rest of the world.
I need to look at a screen every 30 minutes, or else I spin out of control. And so this is part of that. So the team has teed up this video. I want to get your reaction.
Okay.
You ready?
Let's do this.
For Lego.
Wow. Dude.
Move over, crypto.
Yeah, back that thing up, Beanie Babies.
Wow.
We have a new toy in town.
Okay, so this brings me to an article, John. Here's the headline for you. Adults are buying toys for themselves, and it's the biggest source of growth for the industry. And there's a new name for these people. They are called kidults. They have a great fondness for cartoons, superheroes, Star Wars, Lego, and in recent years, toy makers like Mattel have created lines just for these consumers.
Because they're stupid. That's why.
Well, think about it. They have the nostalgia, and they have the buying power.
They've got money now. Right. You know how many times I've tried to convince my wife that this new guitar or hunting, like deer rifle, is an investment? Yeah. No, my truck is an investment. It's going to depreciate and then suddenly reappreciate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know who can't afford this? Kids. And so, I mean, it's astronomically expensive these days. But there's some fascinating stuff in here in the article. And there's one that's connected to it that's interesting. Investing in Lego, more lucrative than gold, a study suggests.
Okay, I hate these. Oh, gosh, you're giving me hemorrhoids.
That's apples to apples.
I hate these
a brick
snapshots.
Of gold, a brick of Lego.
The snapshots. The worst. So I'm 100% for buying toys if you got it. Buy whatever, dude. If you got the money, have a great time.
You've got your weird hobbies.
I've got so many weird hobbies. And my son is down with the Legos. I love them. I could sit there and do Legos all day. It's quiet. We put on some music. It's awesome. I love Legos. I love them. To lie to yourself and others about them being a investment property. Dude. If it all goes down,
we'll be trading in Legos, right?
And someone comes to my house and they're like, hey, I've got a tin of coffee and some cigarettes. Can I have a Starfighter Lego set? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's trading more lucrative than gold because we have more money than cents. And there's more circulating dollars, which means there's more of things we can buy. And there's people right now on Etsy or eBay or whatever going, that guy's full of crap. What an idiot. Whatever. You're cool. Keep buying and selling toys. Knock your lights out. Rock on till the break it on, dude. You're going to be sitting. I'm just sitting with people who've got a lot of guitars. They got a lot of guns. They've got a lot of whatever. This is my investment, bro. We'll sell some. They're getting way less than they thought on average, or it's just imaginary, dude. It's just like
we all have those Beanie Babies in the attic where we were going, I could have sold those at one point.
I'm gonna
for
stop right there. I don't have a Beanie Baby. I know you have a huge collection.
I sold mine.
Okay.
No, I don't know where they went, John.
But yes, we all have things that are like, no, it's worth this much, bro.
But it's pretty. I mean, it's a fascinating stat if you just look at it.
Oh, it is. It is.
The market for secondhand Lego rises in value by 11% annually, which is faster and better than the rate of return than gold stocks, bonds, stamps, and wine.
In the last decade or two, when there's been the single highest wealth accumulation in the history of planet Earth, mostly. We can get that's a whole other conversation. So yes, congratulations.
Yeah, I think
keep collecting, guys.
I'd rather you invest in Lego than stamps. So there's some good things there. But I will say, the company Lego, they are genius marketers. And here's how they did this, John. They use limited production runs. Mm-hmm. They use collector special editions.
Huge.
And scarcity on the secondhand market. That is what has kept these prices up. It's simply supply and demand, and they are so good at creating the scarcity, the urgency. You'll never get this collector set again. Everything's a collector set now.
It's like blood Legos, right?
That's how it goes.
It's unbelievable.
So great lesson in marketing. Terrible investment. I'd rather you be investing in your retirement. And if you want to just enjoy Legos and it's a collector thing for you,
get a
you do on
billion
the
of
side
them. Get a bunch of them.
You've already maxed out retirement. You don't have any debt. You're using your fund money. That's great. We are happy for you. We're not mad at those kidults out there. But please do not delay your retirement because you're like, oh, but honey, if I get this Lego set, it's going to be worth way more than my retirement account.
Or here's me being like just honest. Man, if you buy Legos and collect Legos and they go up in value and you're buying, great. And I can't argue with the data. The last decade, man, these things have done great. Awesome. They're going up in value. So you're an adult, you're a collector, you're going to buy some expensive Lego sets that are rare. Awesome. What I don't like about these kind of studies that get dropped out with headlines like this is that people who watch too much YouTube then go, I'm missing the boat here. And
FOMO.
They start buying Lego sets with credit cards. They start buying quote unquote great deals with fill in the blank ways of borrowing money, with the idea that this is going to return me 11%. I can sell this for $400. I only bought it for $50 and I bought it on a credit card. And that's the folks who get in trouble. If you buy these things with cash and you end up with a huge pile of Legos and the apocalypse hits, no harm, no foul. It's fine, right? But dude, if you have a pile of debt buying these things with the hope they're going to pay off, you're just going to get in a long line of crypto folks and a long line of Beanie Baby folks and a long line of tulip folks and on and on and on, right?
Yeah, we don't know the future of Lego. I mean, one thing they could have a tweet that takes them down and the stock tanks.
No, I'll keep rocking with Legos, dude. I'm all about it, but
it's very, very risky, and we see this across all other industries, John. There's a lot of sneakerheads out there, and they're buying the collector shoe, and there's a lot of urgency and scarcity. And so whenever there's a lot of urgency and scarcity, I like to just pause and go, why do I have this FOMO?
Yeah.
And I go, oh, it's marketing. Got it. Okay.
Ta-da.
I don't actually need it. It's not actually a great investment. I actually don't know anything about it. And so unless you're a super Lego fan who just knows the ins and outs and knows exactly what set is what value on eBay, don't get involved in this stuff for the investment. Do it for the love of Lego.
Yeah, because you want it. For the love
of Lego.
You have a T-shirt that says that, man. That's
100%.
Actually pretty cool. All right, let's go to Shannon. Do we have time to take a call? What do you think, Austin?
Oh, boy, it's risky.
Pretty close?
It is so risky. We got a minute, John. I don't know. I don't want to shortchange him.
All right, let's go here. Let's building wealth in this economy. We keep hearing that question. We keep hearing that question and we get your confusion. There's tons of noise out there right now about inflation, massive layoffs, investing in Legos, not in Lego the company, but just buying a bunch of boxes of toys, rising interest rates. You deserve answers. That's why we're coming to a city near you with our Building Wealth live event. They were sold out all across the country. Last year we had, gosh, how many did we have the other night? 100, 150,000 on that?
Oh, easily.
It was wild.
Yeah.
Dave Ramsey and our team of personalities will be doing a Building Wealth Live spring tour. We'll dig into hot topics, give you a proven plan to build wealth and keep it, yes, even in this madness. Each Building Live event will have its own flair and unique lineup. Dave, George Camel, Rachel Cruz, and Jade Warshaw will be in Indianapolis on February 16th. Dave, Ken Coleman, me, and Jade will be in Austin on February 23rd. We're heading to Salt Lake City on April 24th, where you can catch Dave, Rachel, George, and Christina. And our last stop, Dave, Ken, me, and Christina will be wrapping up the Building Wealth Live Tour in Anaheim, California on May 2nd. Tickets start at $49. You can get a 4-pack of tickets for $175. Bring your friends. It's a blast and it's a lot of fun. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events to reserve your seats today.
I noticed they didn't pair us up, John. We're too dangerous of a combo. Too powerful when we come together.
Gets off the rails a little bit too much.
But join us.
This is the Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. Let's go out to Shannon in Dallas, Texas. Shannon, what's up?
Hi. So my dad recently died, and my husband and I are going to be moving into their house with my mom, which means we need to build a mother-in-law edition. So we were just trying to figure out the best way to do that financially for all three of us.
Okay, let's back all the way up. When did your dad pass away?
On the 3rd.
Oh, my gosh. So this is like right away.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks.
I'm so sorry. What happened, Shannon?
Pulmonary fibrosis, idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis.
Oh, so right away.
Yeah.
Wow, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so
We're doing all right.
So what's causing this sudden, like, we have to move? Is it for mom? What's the reason behind it?
Yeah, she's lonely. She knows she'll be lonely. She's never lived on her own before. Mm-hmm. And the house is old. It was built in the 60s. So she wants help and it's on a lot of acreage. So she just wants help from my husband and I to live in the house.
So I'll just tell you right out of the gate, the wisdom I received from the man who trained me, Dr. Andy Young, the guy who trained me on crisis situations in response, was one of my psychology professors. And then he also served as he helped me out through some pretty messy stuff. The rule was always, after a major shift, a major tragedy, do nothing for 6 months to a year. Because everybody starts scrambling, and people who are on the periphery here, like you guys are, you're watching your mom, you missed your dad, it's so sudden, everything feels like what's up is down and what's down is up. And the impulse that we have a fight or flight, right? Is to start swinging at things or to start running. And the impulse is to go do a thing, do, because that's our impulse. And people will take out mortgages, they'll move across the country, they'll quit their job, they'll move in, they'll move somebody in, and then the smoke clears, the pain is still there. The hurt is still there, the loss is still there, but the smoke clears. And everyone goes, oh gosh, what do we do? And now you got another mess on top of a mess. My greatest recommendation would be find a way to have a in-between for the next 3 to 6 to 9 months. And that might mean mom's just going to move in. It's going to be real tight for all of us. We're going to have to figure it out. Or we're going to get a camper and move it in the driveway or something. But selling your house, moving it, doing a big old reno, all that stuff. Man, you don't know. The smoke may clear in 6 months, and a couple of her friends say, hey, why don't you move over to this community and get a condo and do this? And so who knows where that's going to land? The hardest thing to do right now is to sit in grief. Hear what I'm saying? Like, it's hard just to be still for a minute and say, man, I miss Dad.
Okay, I appreciate that.
How does that sound?
But so say 6 months from now, we do decide we want to go forward.
She and you're awesome. You're like, okay, that's cute. All right, so we're going to build this house. And so here's what it's going to be. All right, so you're thinking about selling your house and moving in? Like, tell me what you're thinking about doing.
So we want to build her a mother-in-law addition.
In her own house?
Then it'll be like connected off to the side of her house so that we still have separate spaces, but she can come visit whenever she wants to.
So she's going to move out of her house, and she's going to move out of her master bedroom and her kitchen and her whole world, and she's going to move into a mother-in-law suite right next door or sort of attached.
Yeah. So for her, this is very exciting that it gives her something to look forward to so that she doesn't just sit and wallow in her grief.
There's a lot of ways you could occupy yourself without doing all of this. She could find hobbies. So the question is, this is a lot of work and a lot of money. Do you guys have the money to cash flow this today?
My husband and I are sitting on a lot of equity in our current house. So once we sell this house, we will have money to do all of that. Plus, my mom has a very comfortable retirement. So
yeah. What's her nest egg look like?
About $1 million.
Okay.
How old is she?
61.
Okay. Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have 2 sisters. It's been a very open conversation with the sisters. We're all on the same page.
Okay. What I would hate for you to do, if you're just bent on doing this, we got to do this in the next 2 months. We got to get it going. We got to get it going. Got to get it going. You have to do this. You sell your house. I want you to buy her house from her.
Okay.
Otherwise, the whole thing gets very messy because technically y'all are homeless.
Right. So that had been what we were initially talking about, but then we started planning, worst case scenario issues, making sure we have a solution for those. So worst case scenario, my husband and I hate each other in 5 years and we're getting a divorce. How do we make sure that my divorce doesn't make my mom homeless?
It will.
It will. So should we put my mom's name on the house? Or is that a bad idea?
Nope. Number one, just don't get divorced in 5 years. You'll work on your marriage. No.
That's the plan.
I'm more concerned with a more realistic probability is your mom passes away in 2 years. And your sisters come and say, well, we want our piece. That's what happens more often in our world. Or your mother's cousin says, hey, she promised me X, and she sues you for that house. And it's in your mom's name. And actually, your mom just had a will and left everything to all the kids. And now we've got a mess.
And you spent $30,000 on the in-law suite, but you don't own the home.
Right. And you cashed out your equity in your home to buy this to pay for an attachment to the. See what I'm saying? This is super messy. And so the cleanest way is I'll buy mom's house from you. Even if you sit down with your sisters and say, oh, that means that I'll take less of splitting up the nest egg when mom passes away. However you need to redo the will, even if you need to sit down with an attorney, get it all clear. Here's what we're looking for. Super, super clear boundaries. Because if you own this house and let's say y'all get divorced, either your husband leaves and he takes a buyout, right? And we'll figure out how to pay the buyout down the road. Or you and your mom leave and he buys you out and y'all move in together somewhere else. Like that doesn't bother me nearly as much as she passes away. Y'all don't really own this house. It was just kind of a handshake agreement between sisters. And one of your sisters doesn't like you anymore, or one of your sisters' husbands gets in some gambling debt and they need the money. Like, who knows how this thing plays out? And I know you're thinking that not in our family, but George and I wouldn't have a job if that didn't happen in a lot of families. Okay. So it's just, we're just the clarity.
So would the plan be you guys move into this house until mom passes and then we'll figure something out if we want to stay there?
No, we were definitely leaning towards my husband and I buy the house and then my mom uses what equity she's going to get because is sitting on a lot of equity in that house. She's going to use that money to build the mother-in-law house.
Okay. But then long term, do you guys want to live there?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we plan on staying there.
So you're good with the next 20 years living at that on the property there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I do want y'all to have the conversation because this would be very hard. I'm just thinking about myself. If all of a sudden my kids were in my kitchen and sleeping in my room, and I was having to go outside to go to my little apartment, that would feel weird for me. And I would a possibility of possibly selling this whole property and y'all buy another place that already has a mother-in-law suite in it, part of the healing journey.
Or you live next door.
Right. She might wake up in 6 months and be like, I need to get out of this house because everything reminds me of my husband. That's why we say to wait and slow down. I'd hate for you to do this and her be like, I can't be in this house anymore. Now we got another problem. Now we all got to move again. But if you're bent on it, make sure everything is outlined and clear. Y'all talked about, hey, this is going to be our kitchen. This is going to be our bedroom. It's going to be our kids' rooms. Have that. It's going to be a messy, messy conversation. Or consider buying a completely separate house, selling this thing. Grieving the loss of this, the passing of this, the dream you had is going to be a different dream now, and then start building something new moving forward. But at the end of the day, she's really blessed to have you in her corner. She's a lucky, lucky woman to have you. Sorry about your dad. We'll be right back. Today's scripture of the day is Proverbs 31, 8 through 9. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy. Jordan Peterson says, when you have something to say, silence is a lie. I like that. All right, let's go to Steven in Springfield. What's up, Steven?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it. What's up, dude?
Oh, so I got a question on kind of how to handle. I ended up taking on Saturdays at work, so I'm bringing home about an extra $350 a week. I got about $26,000 in consumer debt through different loans and everything like that with different interest rates. So I'm just trying to figure out, every time I seem to have extra money, I throw it across the board, and I'm trying to figure out if it's better to just say, pick one, pay it off, then roll it, or what is your guys' input on something like that?
So what kind of debts are these, if you listed out the 26?
So I've got a car, credit card between me and my wife, and then I have a Peloton spin bike that has a 0%, so I kind of always throw that one on the back burner and try to go after the car that has a 5.4% and the credit card that has a 14%. But then again, every time I put $1,000 on the credit card, something comes up and it feels like that thousand's back on there.
Can we agree before George walks you through it that the way you're doing it's not working?
Correct, absolutely.
Yes, dude, you've already won. Congratulations. All right, go for it, George.
As a fellow math nerd, on paper, you're like, well, I should pay off the highest interest debt first. That makes sense mathematically. I'll pay the least amount in interest. But what we found is that personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% nerdy head knowledge. And so the way we've seen it, where people actually get this debt out of their life once and for all, is using the debt snowball method, which is ignoring the interest rate. Just cross it out. You don't know the interest rates anymore. All you see is individual balances. We're going to pay minimum payments on all of the balances except for that smallest one. And with all that side work, all of the extra money, you're cutting expenses, selling stuff, you're going to throw that the smallest debt. It's going to free up a payment. You're going to roll it to the next one and the next one. And man, that is the fastest way. Now, is it mathematically the best way? No, you probably could save a few dollars on interest, but you'll also probably hang on to that debt for longer because it's hard to make progress.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I feel like I'm at right now, and that's slowly been listening to you guys more and more and just been trying to tackle it, and I figured here we are, and let's try to see what you guys' input on it is.
There's something powerful, Stephen, about this. You have a debt with $500, you have a debt with $300, you have a loan to a buddy for $1,500, you got a credit card with $5,000. And you get $1,000 and you throw it at that car and it goes down to $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
You still all owe all the same people money.
Correct.
There's something else. If you owed 6 people money and you took that $1,000 and you paid off that $300 one and that $500 one, you just cut 2 sharks out of your life. There's something powerful psychologically. Like, I'm actually making progress. When you just knock 5,000 to 4,000, that's a lot of money, but it doesn't feel like it because you're still paying the same people. There's something about knocking these things out, smallest to largest, that you start to believe, oh, I can do this. And then I like it. This is me personally. I like that credit card just hanging out there, just gnawing at you.
14%.
Like it just gives you hemorrhoids. There's no preparation H in sight. You gotta just deal with it. And it makes you. I gotta get that thing out of my life. But the only way I get it is to get these other 3 out. And so I'm gonna power through. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah. Because I'm gearing up for tax returns and stuff like that. And my issue at hand was, all right, well, how am I going to use that money? If I do get any, or I always try to break even, but some years you end up getting something back. And I'm just hoping that if I do, I wanted to use it in the right way instead of year after year feeling like I'm just putting $1,000 across the board. And like you guys are saying, I still have 3 other debts that just have a little bit lower of a balance.
Yeah, dude.
You know what to do. Man, commit to this debt snowball, and you're going to be debt-free in no time.
Very cool.
Great. I appreciate that.
You got it, brother. Hey, holler at us when you get all these paid off, man, and we'll celebrate with you. Let's go to Parker in San Antonio, Texas. What's up, Parker?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Excellent, brother. What's up?
So I've got a bit of a predicament I'm in about a long commute for my wife. So we are recently married in September, and she moved in San Antonio. And so I get a job. I kind of work all over the San Antonio area in the hospitals, but she got a job in Fredericksburg, which is about an hour away.
Yep, wine country, man. Beautiful area.
Yes. Yes, it is. Very beautiful out there. But right now, we're making some good money, but all of her paycheck seems to be going towards her gas bill. She drives a truck up to Fredericksburg every day and back and forward and back. So it's 2 hours at minimum a day. So we've got a lease that's ending up in May. We're renting right now, and we're looking pretty heavily to go ahead and, buy a house. Caveat being is the closer you get to Fredericksburg and that beautiful wine country, the more expensive things get.
That's right. I will tell you, there is some research that has some correlation between length of commute and all sorts of physical and psychological challenges. Your body knows that you're driving 75 miles an hour in a metal missile down the road, and that you are relying on everybody else on the road to not do something dumb, so you don't all end up in a huge, your body knows. As much as we just hop in the car and go, and it wears you out, and it wears you out, and it wears you out, and it wears you out. My personal rule is 30 minutes, and that's pushing it, I think. When I just look at the overall psychological well-being of me and my relational well-being with my family and my friends, my time is so precious, especially you throw kids in the mix. Time is so precious. It's the only thing on earth we can't get back, and to spend an hour or 2 hours in the car every day instead of face-to-face with our loved ones or connecting with other people or work, whatever the thing is, man, that's a sacrifice that I think long-term just doesn't add up. I would love to see y'all rent until you can afford to buy a place, man.
How close are you guys to being able to afford that? Are you guys debt free with the emergency fund?
So my wife has got about $15,000 left on her truck. She's been making good progress on that. Should be able to pay it off sometime in the next 2 years. But together we've got about $80,000 saved up. We're recently married, so we haven't quite combined finances and stuff like that. But we've got about $80,000 saved up, thinking about putting either 50 or 60 down for a down payment.
Okay, well, we've got priorities here, which is we're paying off the debt. Is 15 total all the debt you guys have?
Yes, that's it. We
pay it off
got
today
very fortunate with our parents and no student loans.
Before the day is over, pay the truck off. This is not her truck to pay off. This is y'all's. You're married. Everything's one. Pay the truck off.
And then you guys need a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Would you call that 15, 20,000?
Yeah.
Okay. So 15 on the car, 15 for the emergency fund. That leaves you with 50 now towards a down payment. And so now we go, what's the goal for the down payment? How quickly can we save up and able to be able to afford a house near her work? And if that means we need to save up for another year, we're going to go rent for a year.
Great. And I think that'd be wise for y'all to move closer to the Fredericksburg area, rent, and find out exactly where you want to live.
Vibe it out.
Or get to meet some real estate agents and find a great deal that will come up in the next year.
And it might mean getting a condo or a townhome, even though you really wanted the single-family home closer to the... it's going to have to take some compromise, but it's worth it.
Can I challenge you on something, Parker?
Yeah, what's up?
You're newly married. You got to be fully all in. You got to put all your money in the same checking account. You got to share visions. You got to share goals. You got to share finances. Her debt is your debt. Her truck is your truck. There's no more of this. Well, you pay that off, and I'm going to pay this bill. And her gas bill, it's y'all's gas bill. You got to start living like that, planning like that, and create a life together, not these two independent lives, and live like roommates that just make out. Okay? Let's go all in on this marriage. Let's do it together. You got this. Hey, it's the Ramsey Show, another show in the books. We'll see you soon, right here, live from Nashville on the Ramsey Show.
Hey, George Camel here. If you love the show and you want a deeper dive on your money journey, we've got a weekly newsletter that gives you helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for the newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.